With me, Marilyn. Thank you for joining us for this continuity of what we started yesterday, talking about identity reinvention, the different phases. And today, we're going to talk about the second phase. Yesterday, we were opportune to talk about the first phase. But before we start, we want to know, those of you who are joining us for the first time, you can write in the chat, or even if you watch the replay, write in the comment section. We'll be glad to read from you. So, just forgive me, guys, if you hear any sound coming from me. just, just bear with me. Just bear. Oh my God. Just bear with me. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Today, in our second phase of identity reinvention, talking about a different phase, we are phase 2. So, but before we get there, let me present quickly myself for those of you who are new on our platform. Who am I? Yes, I'm Marilyn. Guys, today is a wonderful day. Let's just proceed. I'm Marilyn. I have a lot of background. I also have the opportunity to have worked for media companies for 8 years, and I was in charge of TV hosting, programmation, and content creation for TV station. On top of that, I have over a decade of media production experience as camera photography, uh, video editing, motion graphic design. And so we are here to talk about the phase 2 when we talk about identity reinvention. And one of my pleasure with all that background that I just enumerated earlier is to help women to reinvent themselves in whatever area of life that they desire to. And so yesterday we talked about identity reinvention in terms of giving up and dying to the self-pity party, dishing down forever the victim mentality. We said that's really the first thing to do when it comes to identity reinvention. And today, the second thing to do when you talk about identity reinvention is about you have to become aware of yourself. We want to talk about awareness today. Self-awareness. You have to become aware once you have divorced and died to excuses given to yourself or to others, to self-pitying yourself, to the victim mentality. Now you have to become aware of yourself. You have to become aware of yourself. You have to know what are your strengths. You have to know what are your weaknesses, what are your shortcomings, what are your triggers. You have to become aware of yourself. You have to know when you speak and that which you were saying was sourced from pride. You have to know when you have an ambition or a desire to do a thing, to know that the real motivation of this desire is the desire of revenge. You have to know yourself. Not to beat yourself up, no. But because as you become more and more aware of yourself in the beauty, in the qualities of all of that is part of your beauty, by the way, but in the qualities and the strength, but also in the weaknesses, the shortcomings, and the triggers, you know now that the world is not against you. You know now that the world is not against you. You are more conscious that the world is not against you. And why is it important? Because when you become deeply conscious, it's not just a thought in your mind. The word is not against me, and say it many times. The words are against me. The words are not against me. No, no. That you become more deeply from within aware that the world. I mean world. I mean this age. I mean the cosmos. I mean the arrangement of things and all that constitute the arrangement of things is not against you. It causes another awareness to rise up at the same time, which is the cosmos is for me, which is I can absolutely do whatever I want in the sense of having my dream life, having my dream health, having my dream relationship, having my dream body, having my dream family. I can absolutely do whatever I want. So it is very, very much important to become self-aware. And it may be frightening, especially because we've been taught denial. We've been taught that we should never really dig into ourselves to know really why what we believe, first of all, and why we believe what we believe. Same thing with the fears. Why am I afraid? Let me just say random fear. Why am I afraid to fail? What is the real source of that fear of failure? Why am I afraid of missing out? What is the source of of that fear? And we were not trained, most of us. There were some exception in the rule. Yeah, some people that had parents or tutor that were conscious and that helped them already into that to dig in the motives of why we do what we do. Like somebody would talk to you and you will insult him. But why did you insult him? Insulted him, sorry. Oh, he talked badly to me. Why did you feel like the fact that he talked badly to you have to affect you? Why? Until you get to the bottom root of the matter. Because there's always a bottom root of the matter. It is always deeper than it seems. It is always deeper than it seems. And unfortunately, but fortunately, because we are doing it now, we were not trained to ask ourselves why. There is a an author, and I represented his book here in a live stream. The book is, do I have the book here? Oh no, I don't have the book here. I Think Myself Happy of Professor Sean Smith. And in one interaction, he says there are two things that human beings fear the most: questions, they fear to ask questions, and silence. So you see that from there, it's asking us a retraining. We don't like to ask ourselves questions. But why did I react that way? Why actually what makes me actually is it really because he forgot to do so and so, or what is the real, why am I so angry because he did so and so, or he did not do so and so? Why? And to go into that train, into go into that lane until we got to the bottom line of it. And usually 90% of the time, the real motive of our anger, of our disappointment, of our resentment, of our frustration, it is not what happens now. It is something deeper. It is something far more bigly deeper. Allow me to use the word bigly deeper. But nobody will do that homework for us except us. Nobody will go and enter the inner recesses of your soul if you are not willing to get in there. And it's frightful. It's frightful because nobody wants to look at his own shadows. Most of the time, we were taught that our shadows were our enemies and that we should live our life pretending that we are not seeing the shadows in our cupboards, the cupboards of our souls. We should live pretending that everything is okay, everything is always fine and good in our life. Our soul is always light and love. Pretending. We pretend so much. We have learned to pretend so much that even when we are alone with ourselves, we still pretend. But how are we going to have mastery over circumstances unforeseen circumstances, contradiction, challenges, if you are not able to learn the very first mastery of the whole ages, which is the mastery of self. How could you master self if you are not willing to learn the self? With all its shadows, with the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything that comes with the self, you are not willing to learn it. How will you think that you will be able to actually master? If how will you conquer mountains? And these mountains are not just physical mountains that we are talking about. Mountains here can be the field in which you are. How will you get to the peak of your profession? How will you get into have the best life you could have? How could you have the best finances that you desire to have? How could you have the best relationship, whether with your marriage, family, all the sort? If the very first element, in fact, the common denominator, as you have already shared with you on this one of this session of live stream, the common denominator, that is you. You don't have mastery over you. And I want to explain, when you say mastery over you, don't hear it funny. Mastery over yourself doesn't mean that you control yourself in sense of suppressing yourself. You suppress yourself, you suppress yourself, and you quench the anger, you suppress yourself, you do not cry, no, that's not mastery of self. That's not what we are talking about. It may be one of the aspects, but that's not what we're talking about. When we talk about mastery about yourself, is the awareness, the knowing. So and so come and ask me, then I did it. But the truth is, I did not wanted to do it. I did not wanted to do it. I did it because of my natural tendency of addiction to please people, and to be fully aware that that in this scenario, that's what happened. Your addiction to please was triggered maybe by something that the person said or something showed up, and you felt obliged to yield again to that addiction, and you really you are very much aware that it is that addiction that caused you to do so and so. And you can look at the situation and the scenario that happened and say, here is addiction to please people that reacted. It's just addiction to people that was in display. You can hear yourself speak and say, here is pride, just pride. You can look at one ambition you have, I desire this, I desire that, and look at it and say, here is the desire of revenge. I just want to show those people that you should have bet on me. Is your loss. That's what we talk about when we talk about mastery over self. The ability for you to look at yourself and say, Aish, even after the thing has happened, I shouted on one guy, I got so angry with him, but the reality was not him. The reality is that what he did made me feel powerless, the same way it made me feel 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. My reaction had nothing to do with him. I was reacting to something that has passed. And you are able to have that analysis, that cold analysis, with a lot of love and warmth to yourself and compassion to yourself, to say, Mary, we're going to make it. We are going to make it. We are going to make it. Mary, we are going to make it. We are going to make it. So just activate the double. For those who are asking to speak French, just activate the double button that the YouTube has made available now, where you can, the video, the AI generation that can cause the host to speak any language that you want. I think it's over 200 languages that are available now on it. We have already activated that. So you choose the language you want me to speak for you, and I will speak that language. YouTube has activated that. Yeah, YouTube has activated that for us. So so mastery over self, which is coming from awareness of self, which is coming from knowing self, learning to know yourself, and be willing. I will even start by saying, start by you being willing to know yourself. You start by you being willing to and to get into those rooms, those dark rooms of the soul. and to be open enough, to have your heart open enough to say, at least I am willing to know what's in there. Because you know what is troubling is that if you refuse to know yourself, and you want to keep on this game of pretending with yourself, those shadows that are hidden in those dark rooms of your soul, they will come out. In the midst of trials, of contradiction, of unforeseen circumstances, when things doesn't go as planned, those shadows will come out. And because you have denied them the right to exist by going inside yourself and say, oh, I did not know this was there. I did not know this was there. I did not know this was there. When they will come out at those critical moments, you will have no mastery over them. You will have no, I will not use the word mastery, but you will have no control over them. You will not be able to pilot them. They will come out like an outburst. And you can only, at that moment, you can only see the consequences that it will entail, because our heart is so deep. And that's Professor Sean Smith who said it one day. Our heart is so deep that our own heart can deceive ourselves. In which sense? Our heart is so deep that there are things in our heart that we don't even know that they are there, but yet they are there. Things that can destroy us, things that can cause us to destroy our life with our two own hands, that are in our heart, but on the top of our conscience, we are not aware that they are there. And it's only through, it's true that it's through different practices, journaling, meditation, contemplation, introspection, that you are made aware of those of those of those strangers in the room, of those dark room within you, within your soul. And then when you are aware that those rooms exist, now healing can start, because at least the first main element has already been put beside, which is the awareness of the thing. How could you heal of something that you are not aware that it exists? How could you heal of a sickness? Let us take the example on the physical plane. How could you heal of a sickness if you are not aware that you have the sickness? You won't. Why? You will not be willing to go to the doctor. You will not be willing to take the prescription, because to you, you are not sick. So you need to be aware of your sickness, because our weaknesses and our shortcomings and our shortcomings, our lapses, our triggers, we should see them like illnesses, like sickness. And when you are sick, you don't beat up yourself. It's true that some of us, we beat ourselves when we are sick. We are like, oh, I should have done this. I should have covered myself more. I should have anticipated and all that. But usually that's not what you do. Most people, that's not what they do. So that's the way we should relate with our shadows, the shadows of our soul. It's not the point to say, oh, you are a bad girl. How could you have those type of inclination and so forth? No, it's not the time to beat yourself up. It's the time to look at it as a sickness. And if it's a sickness, then you need a healer, a doctor. But even for you to be able to go to a doctor, you have to be, first of all, aware that something is wrong in my body. I'm not feeling very fine this time around. It's not normal. That's not the normal state of my body. So self-awareness is key. Self-awareness is very important. It's very important. And as our heart is as deep, our heart is a depth without end. Meaning we will be learning to become aware of ourselves all our lives. As soon as you are able to see this, something else you see. You see this and then something else you see. You see this and then something else. So it's a whole journey that we've got ourselves in a whole journey. We've got ourselves in a whole journey. And we are grateful for that. We are grateful for that. Self-awareness, being aware of self, being aware of the shadows, being aware of the dark rooms of our soul, and be able to come to this place where we look at them with compassion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter how the rooms became dark. But now that we have become aware that they are, It is our responsibility to show love to ourselves and to seek healing. To seek healing. So identity reinvention is about a choice that you make, that I make every day. A choice that I make for me, for my community, for humanity, that have not just been brought, you have not just been brought, I have not just been brought here to suffer and bear life and die, but we have been brought upon this earth to make it better in all the sense, in all the ways, not just one aspect, but make humanity living on earth better than the way we found it. That should be one of the aim of our lives. Now, according to our specificity and particularity, we'll be called to make the world better, to make humanity better, to make our communities better according to that particular lane that is in sync with our personality and particularity. But the greater aim is to make the world better, make it a blissful place, make it a heaven on earth. Some may say, Marilyn, is it not too unrealistic to think that way? Is it not too utopic? And I will respond, more than half of the invention that we use today as our daily life, when the inventors were talking about it, people were saying it's unrealistic. People were saying it is unrealistic. People were saying it is unrealistic. More than 90% of the things that were invented, in fact, everything that was invented by men, when they found the inventors were talking about that, most people, 90% of people were saying, if not 100, were saying that it is unrealistic, it is impossible, it is utopic. But here we are today. We are using those inventions without even thought. Why? Guys, give me a minute. So, guys, thank you so much. So, I will just conclude with this. It is very, most people that invented things, most of people were not seeing what they were seeing, and they were labeled as utopies, unrealistic, as dreamers and all the stuff. But we believe that earth was made to be a safe heaven, a place where there's no war, there's no rumors of war, there is no famine, there is no natural disaster, there is no economical crisis, recession, or inflation. Earth was created to be a place of bliss where every human being, whatever his ethnicity and background, skin color, religion, could genuinely enjoy every moment of his life on earth, from the moment of his conception to the moment he chooses to relocate. Human beings are made for happiness, and we have talked about it here on this live stream when we were reviewing, with the help of the book I Think Myself Happy of Professor Sean Smith. We are designed at the core to be happy. How come then? Where have we forgotten the formula, the main element that People that in essence are designed and made for happiness have been able to turn such a beautiful planet in an environment that brings tears and death and suffering and all sorts of things. This is not our earth. And whatever is your calling is to respond to the higher calling that says we are here to make this earth better. We are here to make this earth a heaven on earth. A heaven on earth. To make it such a peaceful place, such a beautiful place, because that was the original intention. That was the original intention. Okay, guys, it's on this note that I'm going to leave you. I'm going to give you rendezvous appointment again tomorrow for another live stream. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Love yourself. Accept yourself. Do not judge yourself. I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye. If you want to work with us, we have a new course. That told you? That told you? Now, I was about to go without telling you how. We have a new course entitled The Reinvented Woman Blueprint. The link to be able to access the course is in the description box. For those of you on this platform of live stream, we have given a lot of tools, a lot of for you to reinvent yourself, for you to do the identity shift swiftly. But for those of you who want more, this course, we recommend it to you. And if you want even more particularity, you are also able to contact us to work one-on-one with us. So check out our course, The Reinvented Woman Blueprint, is in the description box. And it's on this note that I'm telling you, bye-bye guys, see you tomorrow. Be kind to yourself. Do not judge yourself. Accept yourself. Love yourself. I'll meet you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.